Number one favorite comic book movie is Batman Under. What I like about it, the voice performances are really good. The storytelling is really good. I really like the characters. I love the underlying theme of it. I love the emotional journey it is that we see Batman go through and his relationship with Jason Todd. And I just love the whole idea of the premise focuses more on, criminals. You treat criminals like garbage because in society we view them as garbage, and they should get no mercy versus the mercy that they do get, and how that feeds into this cycle of constant criminal activity and stuff like that. So I really do like the journey in this one. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's a really good pace. It is my favorite comic book movie. Perhaps said that. All right, number two, Captain America: Civil War. Captain America: Civil War, good cast. I like the the tension. I do like the two ideologies: freedom versus subjugation, basically. Even though it's more of, setting the film of, hey, we operate independently or we operate under government control. And I like the idea of it. I like that they have a really big cast, and really all of the characters do feel like their inputs are heard. They feel really important. I like how they focus on all these characters, and like I said, it feels like they're all important. It's got some really good memorable moments. It's got some really good action sequences. In fact, the biggest superhero battle you see between superheroes excuse me, is in this film. It's got a really good emotionally driven ending. And also, we got to see Spider-Man and Black Panther pop up in the MCU, and their intros were just great. Number three, Death of Superman. If there was ever a movie that I wanted to see Superman just go all out and it's just be a fight, I love the fact that in Man of Steel, that it felt like there was high stakes, there was a lot of destruction. It felt like gods fighting gods. And in this film, you get to see Doomsday, Superman just go at it. I love the little moment we get with Wonder Woman fighting Doomsday. I just love that this film shows not only how badass Doomsday is as a character, because this movie just basically just an ass whooping fest. And I enjoy basically just a fight. When Doomsday hits the floor, it just gets to go, and just nothing but fights, nothing but action. There is emotional drama when it comes to Clark, Lois Lane, that's in the background. There's actually not really a background, that's actually running alongside with this Doomsday plot that they have going on, and it makes for a very good and insightful look into who Clark is as a character in this version of the character. So I really enjoyed that romance between these two, and where it builds and leaves off at the end, and how the Doomsday fight just goes just completely insane. And after which you see a lot of ass whooping again. Number four, The Flashpoint Paradox. Like the film, hadn't read the comics, but Flash goes into the past to save his mom, which just, the world just changes and goes into the most craziest directions. It's great because not only is it a good story, it was really cool seeing these different incarnations of my favorite characters. Wonder Woman is basically an evil bitch. Aquaman's a straight up cheating asshole. Batman is Bruce Wayne's father. And just seeing these different incarnations of the characters is really cool. I'm always for seeing alternate versions of characters, and if they make sense, I'm good with it. And I felt like they did a great job of making sense in this. And not to mention, it has some really good action sequences in there as well. Number five, Blade 2. Like the first Blade, but I like Blade 2 more. I think it's darker. I think it's a bit more grittier. I like the fight sequences. I like the kind of the emotional strings that Blade has to deal with. I like Norman Reedus. I like his character. I like the Reapers. I think they're really menacing creatures. I think they look nasty. I like the fact that they're just so hard to kill, and it just makes for some very high stakes in this film. And not to mention, it's got a really good cast. I mean, Ron Perlman's in here. So, number 6, speaking of Ron Perlman, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. I thought the first film was like, oh, okay, but I like Hellboy 2 because, again, Rob Perlman is awesome. We get a bit more action sequences in it. I like the cast of characters. I like how they function as a unit. I like the story. I think the makeup design, the art design, set pieces, they just look brilliant. Guillermo del Toro does a good job with the direction and just the visual aspect of the film. And not to mention, Salma, whatever the chick, Elizabeth Sherman, she's completely hot in this film. And did I mention this Ron Perlman? Coming in at number 7, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 upped the ante for Peter Parker. It's a great film, really good action sequences. Never like Doc Ock before this movie. Doc Ock is a really cool character. I like the way he fights. I like the way he looks. I like the mechanical arms. Everything just looks really cool. They have some really cool, memorable moments in this film. Some of the best fight sequences in the Spider-Man franchises are definitely in this movie. And I like the emotional aspect of it, between this really just powerful pull and contrast between Peter and Mary Jane, and ultimately how it leaves off at the end. Great sequel to a really good movie of that, which was the first one. Coming in at number 8, Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. Cannot say how much I really enjoyed this movie. Supergirl is one of my favorite comic book characters, and seeing this incarnation of her come to Earth, having to learn how to acclimate herself to the Earth and cultures, just the culture of the Earth. How Wonder Woman fits into training her, Superman trying to shield her from the world, Batman sitting here trying to figure out what her purpose is here, and then of course Darkseid shows up. Really cool animation, really badass fights, some of the best animated fights in the entire DC animated universe. Coming in at number 9, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Watched the movie before I read the books. Gotta say, really cool adaptation. Action visually is highly appealing. Love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Definitely wish she could be the Missus. She's one of my favorite actresses. But like I said, it's a really fun time. It's a really good adaptation of the comics. Coming in at number 10, Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm a huge Justice League fan. I actually did about Joss Whedon, but I have to say that this one definitely fixes those problems. The action is a lot better, a lot more in-depth with the characters. I felt like the movie was much more emotionally driven. I like the fact that Cyborg was a really prominent character. I've never really liked Cyborg, but this movie actually gave me a bit more insight to his character, made me feel for his character a bit more, made me like his character a bit more. I like all of the cast. I like the performances. I really liked it. It was a really good thrill ride. It was a long movie, but it was definitely worth it.